I need to hit the record, or have they already done? There we go. All right, this time I'd like to call the May 18th, 2020 City of Vandalia Council meeting to order. We'll start with a moment of reflection, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. We'll do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag, of the United States of America, and to the republic
for which it
stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice
for all.
Let's move along. Okay, Council, you have an opportunity to review the council study session minutes of May 4th, 2020, the council meeting minutes of May 4th, 2020, and the special council meeting minutes of May 8th, 2020. Are there any comments or corrections?
I don't have May 8th.
My agenda says special council meeting minutes of May 8th, so they will not.
My apologies. I took those off. I did not get them done. Sorry, Rick. Sorry, Mayor Herbst.
That's all right. All right. Thank you, Councilman Pollack, for bringing that to our attention. Are there any other comments or questions regarding that? Okay, being none, they stand approved except for the council meeting minutes of, or the special council meeting minutes of May 8th. We have no communications, petitions, or awards, nor do we have a public hearing. And that brings us to the city manager's report, where we have some information items. Mr. Cruzy.
Just a couple quick items. First of all, city offices will be closed on Monday, May 25th in observance of Memorial Day. And secondly, council is going to be heading into summer session now. So council's next meeting will be June 15th. During summer session in June, July, and August, council meets the third Monday of the month. The workshops beginning at 6 o'clock and the council meetings beginning at 7.
Thank you. Moving on to action items. We do not have any action items or old business, and that brings us to our first resolution of the night, and that is resolution 20-R-30. Mr. McDonald, by title only.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with LJB Inc. for Part 1 of the design and engineering of the Vandalia Bikeway Connector, which will be the feasibility study to determine the best route for the bike path.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy.
Thank you, Your Honor. So we did receive 6 statements of qualifications from firms that were interested in providing engineering and design services for our bikeway extension. And this would go from Castle Hills Golf Course to the Great Miami River Trail. 3 firms were interviewed. LJB was selected as the most qualified firm. LJB has proposed a 2-part contract. The first phase is a feasibility study to determine the most cost-effective route for the bikeway. The cost for that feasibility study is $119,230. The second phase would be an engineering design contract for the chosen route. And at 5 Rivers will reimburse the city for 50% of these out-of-pocket costs.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 20-R-30.
Second.
Okay. I've got a motion by Councilman Blakesley and a second by Councilman Pollack that we approve resolution 20-R-30. Are there any comments? Please call the roll.
Councilmember Forrest?
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis?
Yes.
Councilmember Woods?
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley?
Yes.
Councilmember Pollack?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers?
Yes.
Mayor Herbst?
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Next, we have resolution 20-R-31. Mr. McDonald.
A resolution authorizing an intergovernmental agreement with Montgomery County regarding building inspection services.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy.
Okay, so the city has contracted with Montgomery County Building Regulations Department for inspection services on an as-needed basis since 2016. Montgomery County is currently performing all of our electrical inspections during the stay-at-home order. The previous 3-year agreement expired April 1. The new agreement is proposed for another 3-year term. The inspection fee will remain at $50 per inspection.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve resolution 20-R-31 as presented.
Second.
Second.
Okay. Have a motion by Councilwoman Forrest and a second by Councilman Blakesley that we approve Resolution 20-R-31 as presented. Are there any comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Woods,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Follak,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ayers,
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Next, we have Resolution 20-R-32. Mr. McDonald, title only.
A resolution authorizing the purchase and installation of an emergency generator at Fire Station 2.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy.
Thank you, Your Honor. So $50,000 is budgeted for the purchase and installation of an emergency generator at Fire Station number 2. The new generator would power all of the essential circuits, as well as having room for more should there be any in the future. The generator is automatic and backed up by natural gas. The fire department is recommending the purchase of a Kohler generator directly from Buckeye Power Sales at a cost of $24,421. Additionally, we did receive 2 bids for the installation of the generator. The fire department is recommending contracting with Sparks Electric at a cost of $24,915.06 for the installation. So the total cost of the purchase and installation of the generator would be $49,156.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
Your Honor, I'll move to approve Resolution 20-R-32.
Second. First.
All right. I have a motion by Councilman Pollak and a second by Councilwoman Forrest that we approve Resolution 20-R-32 as presented. Are there any comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Woods,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Follak,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ayers,
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Next, we'll move on to ordinances in their first reading. The first one is ordinance 20-09. Mr. McDonald?
An ordinance amending several subsections of section 884.03 of the City of Vandalia Tax Code to be consistent with state law.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. So this legislation is necessary to comply with House Bill 166 that was passed by the state legislature last summer. Council did previously pass Ordinance 1930, which amended the city's income tax code to comply with those provisions. However, several discrepancies have been identified that require further amendments. So the required changes really deal with clarifications with certain definitions within the income tax code.
Thank you. Have a motion?
I move that we approve ordinance 20-09 in its first reading. First.
Second. Blakesley.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion to approve ordinance 20-09 in its first reading by Councilwoman Forrest and second by Councilman Blakesley. Are there any comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Follak,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Woods,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ayers,
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Next, we have ordinance 20-10 in its first reading. Mr. McDonald.
An ordinance providing for the issuance and sale of notes in the maximum principal amount of $288,000 in anticipation of the issuance of bonds to provide monies for the retirement of the city's outstanding various purpose notes, Series 2019, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy?
Thank you, Your Honor. Some bond anticipation notes related to the 2016 purchase of a new rescue engine are set to expire September 2nd. The principal amount due is $336,000. The budget does include $48,000 towards principal and $7,140 in interest. The remaining principal balance on these notes will be $288,000. This ordinance will be voted on as an emergency at your June 15th meeting.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
Yes, Your Honor, I move that we approve ordinance 20-10 in its first reading.
Second.
Okay, I've got a motion by Councilwoman Woods that we approve ordinance 20-10 in its first reading, and a second by Councilman Ehlers. Are there any comments? Please call the roll.
Councilmember Follak,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
yes,
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Woods,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers,
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Next, we have ordinance 20-11. Mr. McDonald?
An ordinance providing for the issuance and sale of notes in the maximum principal amount of $1,399,000 in anticipation of the issuance of bonds to provide monies for the retirement of the city's outstanding taxable land acquisition note, Series 2019, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy?
Okay, so the purchase of 201 acres of land at Stone Quarry Crossings has been financed since 2006 with the issuance of bond anticipation notes that must be renewed annually. The total amount due, as Jerry said, is $1,399,000 plus an interest payment of $45,214.90. There was no property sold in Stone Quarry Crossings in 2019 to apply toward the project. However, the 5-year operating plan does propose paying $100,000 annually beginning in 2022 toward the debt. And again, this ordinance would also be voted on as an emergency at your June 15th meeting.
All right, thank you. Can I have a motion?
I move that we approve ordinance 20-11.
second,
Okay, I have a motion by Vice Mayor Ehlers, second by Councilwoman Fairst, that we approve ordinance 20-11 in its first reading. Are there any comments? You call the roll.
Councilmember Fairst,
yes,
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Woods,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Follak,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers,
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Next, we have ordinance 20-12 in its first reading. Mr. McDonald?
An ordinance providing for the issuance and sale of notes in the maximum principal amount of $808,000 in anticipation of the issuance of bonds to provide monies for the retirement of the city's outstanding various purpose notes, Series 2019, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Mr. Cruzy?
All right, thank you, Your Honor. So bond anticipation notes are going to related to the 1996 bond issue for the Rec Center, Justice Center, and municipal building projects. Again, they're due to mature September 2nd. The notes are scheduled to be retired next year in 2021. The total amount due is $1,625,000 in principal, plus $34,531.25 in interest. Again, the remaining principal balance on the notes will be $808,000. Again, this ordinance will be voted on as an emergency at your June 15th meeting.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
Make
I'll
motion-
move to approve.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 20-12 in its first reading.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Follak and a second by Councilwoman Woods that we approve ordinance 20-12 in its first reading. Are there any comments? You call the roll.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Woods,
Yes.
Councilmember Blakesley,
Yes.
Councilmember Follak,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
yes,
Vice Mayor Ehlers,
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. We have no ordinances in our second reading, nor do we have any emergency ordinances, and that brings us to reports for boards and commissions. The first one being the conditional use warehouse at 9105 Peters Pike. Mr. Rudy?
All right, so IBI Group is requesting conditional use approval to allow a warehouse at 9105 Peters Pike. It's located in the Office Industrial Park zoning district. The parcel is located at the end of Capstone Way. The applicant's proposing the construction of a 624,000 square foot warehouse on about a 39.5 acre parcel with a potential 312,000 square foot expansion on an additional 16.5 acres. The initial facility would consist of 134 dock doors, 165 trailer spaces, and 458 parking spaces. The traffic impact study that was completed for the proposed development does project a minimal impact on the public roadway system in the immediate area. The Planning Commission reviewed this request at its April 28 meeting. They voted 4-0 to recommend approval, subject to the following conditions. One, that the accompanying variances for 9105 Peters Pike are approved. And two, that the approval of the conditional use permit will become null and void upon the occurrence of the 4 items listed below.
Thank you. Since this is a sorry, I'm just reading my notes here. At this time, I'd like to open up for public hearing. So if anybody would like to comment on this item, please state your name and address for the record in your comment.
Sure, thank you, Mr. Mayor. My name is Jeff Kern. I'm the applicant on behalf of ARCO National and Exeter Development out of Indianapolis. My address is 23 Triangle Park Drive, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45246. I just wanted to say that we had a real good experience working with the city and its team on studying the potential traffic impacts from the additional trucks that would come into the area. Because of the COVID, we didn't do counts for this project. We actually used counts from the MOT 40 study and then projected them up with the help of MVRPC to get a good picture of what the impact would be, which it turns out was very minimal. The delays would be in the seconds, like less than 3 or 4 actually, as attributed from the project. So my client ARCO and their client Exeter are excited about the site and its potential, and really look forward to increasing the income tax base of Vandalia and having a successful project. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. Do you have any questions for me?
Thank you. Are there any questions?
Not offhand. My only comment is that unfortunately the application is very well presented. There is no projection of truck traffic through the city of Vandalia, and that issue has been endemic to all of the previous and current warehouses that have been developed in our area. And as I will voice here in just a few minutes, I find that, to me personally, very troubling. The number of trucks in and out of a 900 and roughly 36,000 square foot building, which is close to 20 acres under roof, is big. It's a large number, and unfortunately, and I have looked and reviewed the traffic study, it didn't seem to address any of those issues sufficiently. It indicates that the majority of the traffic would exit onto north on the Peters, which then would necessitate for our purposes a westerly route down 40. And unfortunately, our experience tells us that that hasn't come to fruition.
I'm familiar with Vandalia's concerns about trucks, very, very much so. And we would never say in our report that there wouldn't be a single truck heading towards the intersection of Dixie and the National Road. Our study was limited to the intersection of Capstone and Peters, and we discussed how the intersection of Peters and the National Road would be affected by using the data from the Mott 40 study that, honestly predicted tons and tons of trucks coming off of these properties to make certain that we got the federal funds necessary to build the project. So, which didn't warrant any improvements to that intersection. But yes, I'm familiar with your concern about keeping trucks out of your downtown. Absolutely.
Sir. Are there any other comments, questions from anyone? In the audience? All right, this time I will close the public hearing. Do I have a motion?
Your Honor, and I'd like to be heard further on the issue, but I'm going to move to deny the conditional use at 9105 Peters Pike Way Road for what I will articulate for the specific reasons.
Okay. Can I have a second?
Second.
All right, I have a motion by Councilman Lewis and a second by Councilwoman Parse that we deny the conditional use for the warehouse use in the O/IP zoning district as set forth in the proposed site plan and development at 9105 Peters Pike, as requested in the PC case 20-03. I guess to summarize is just because of the impact of the truck traffic in our city at this time. Does that summarize it enough, or do you need to add any more to it?
But I'd like to outline specifically, at least my personal reasons for making such a denial, and it is extremely troublesome because I know the parties involved, and I do see obviously the value that it could bring to the city, but that does not override specifically that our biggest concern with the citizens of Vandalia, and to be consistent with our policy related to development previously discussed, that anything that exacerbates the truck traffic through our town would be hypocritical, I believe, for the council to approve at this time. We are currently and have been pursuing a truck route or a moratorium legislatively through the state route through our town that would enable a project such as this located in that general facility, I believe, to move forward without negatively impacting the citizens. But I believe that, one, it is contradictory to our aims. It is not in the best interests of the city. And when I go through the 6 specific criteria contained in our ordinances contained to conditional uses, and I know that the Planning Commission, whom I respect, went through those items. The very first item reads under, let's see, 12-1405 E1, that the establishment, maintenance, or operation of the conditional use will not be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, morals, or the general welfare And I find that it will be detrimental and it will increase the truck traffic. And that is the antithesis of what our citizens want. And this, again, isn't a case of a manufacturing facility, an office, but it is a mammoth distribution center. And it is one that we have in our control. And that's why that property was set up as a conditional use. And as such, I am unfortunately in a difficult position to be a proponent of its denial. I also find, to a much lesser extent, that given the current status, even with the plans on the books moving forward, that it would have a negative effect on the utilities and access road specifically, and not so much the access road, but our road and 40, which we're required to maintain under E4 of 121405. And that is a lesser concern of mine as opposed to item number 1. And for those reasons, unfortunately, I'm a proponent of denial of this specific conditional use.
Thank you. Are there any other comments? You can call the roll.
Council Member Woods,
Yes.
Council Member Blakesley,
Yes.
Council Member Fowler,
Yes.
Council Member Fairst,
Yes.
Council Member Lewis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ehlers,
Yes.
Mayor.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Next, we have a variance for a loading area at 9105 Peters Pike. Mr. Cruzy.
If I may, Your Honor, the items on the agenda for the variance B, C, D, and E are all related to this use. And if the use isn't permitted, then the variances are a moot point. And we don't need to go into those.
Okay, thank you. All right, we then will move on to item 14, which is the April bill listing in the amount of $2,586,987.01, and the April purchasing card detail in the amount of $41,028.92. And that brings us to council comments. We'll start with Mr. McDonald.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Mr. Cruzy.
Nothing this evening.
Councilman Fowler.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Fairst.
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Councilman Blakesley.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Councilman Lewis.
I have none, Your Honor, and I want to inform you that I'm almost out of battery here, just if I disappear.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Councilwoman Woods.
Nothing this evening.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Ehlers.
I'm good, thanks.
Thank you. And I have no comments either. With that said, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.